Hello everyone, I am your friendly neighborhood techno wizard. I'd like to say hi to everybody out there in the Megaverse. Let's have some fun, let's get into this. I'm going to do hit points, SDC, and MDC today. I'm going to cover kind of those three things. Those are a key part of the game you kind of have to understand. I'll go over them the best I can. Like I said, like, share, subscribe. If you have something you want to say or you see it differently, tell me in the comments section. Check out my other videos. I did just a GW rant. Sorry, it's a little long. Yeah, it's a rant. What can I say? I was upset. It's moody. I hadn't had my chocolate today. Those are excuses I'm told to give when I'm pissed. Anyway, on with the show. So, we're going to go over hit points in SDC. Here we go. I love the merge function. Alright, so if you want to do this with me right here, what you see is movement weight, hit points, SDC, MDC. These are the three kinds of damage you can take in the game. Alright, let's go down. Physical SDC. They call it SDC, I call it standard damage capacity. This is how much literal stabby your character can take based on the weapon. I.e., somebody stabs you with a knife, it does 1d6. A lot of people, they start off with, like, what is it? The average person, you start off with, like, what is it? Build hit point, or SDC is usually like 10, maybe 20. So, yeah, a knife can really quickly, by the way, in real life, I think this is the funniest thing, is in real life, you can get shot with one bullet and it can kill you. It happens all the time. But it's a game, so they came up with a standardized kind of system. Don't think of this as reality. I think this is a game to make it kind of fair and get your character to understand that, yes, you're now taking actual physical damage. You need to kind of figure out what to do. SDC is like the damage of your skin and rope before you get into actually doing really severe health damage. I.e., this is where you get scuffed up, couple of cuts, knuckles hurt, you maybe have a slight stab wound. That kind of thing. Now, SDC, there's also SDC of objects. Like, chest has 100 SDC. 100 SDC. Okay, I gotta find a way to either break that or pick the lock. Breaking's probably the best ideas. Anyway, they are, it's SDC. This is how you take damage. This is how we calculate damage in the game to make the game fair. Remember, you're playing a game, this isn't like reality, like somebody pointed out, well, what if I stab you through the eye socket? Well, okay, that, as a GM, you'd kind of have to take into account, okay, there is no SDC, I'm not going to count that, it goes straight to his head, okay, did you hit? Yeah. How much damage did you do? Oh, I did 10. Okay, you went right through the eye socket, you're done. The guy's dead. As a GM, I kind of have that discretion. As a player character, you can ask, but you might not always get. That means, but here's how this one works. You go SDC. SDC is basically, like I said. Now, in certain games, certain Palladium games, you have AR. Armor rating. How much of your body and how likely is it that the shot gets through to your personal SDC and not to the suit of armor you've got on? Like if you've got a suit of full body leather armor, okay. Odds are it hits the armor first. And that's kind of the point of the armor, is to take damage that you don't want to take. It's like a shield. Think of it like a shield. If this shield has so much SDC, it takes the damage before you do. Now, with the human characters and most characters, you are what they refer to as an SDC being. It means you have SDC and hit points. SDC is you taking physical damage that can relatively easily be healed and is not really all that bad. The instant you get to hit points, however, this is your character starting to lose life. This is realizing that, yes, things need to change. This I would always emphasize it this way to your player character. Like, when you take, like, an SDC damage, you gotta take the shotgun blast. It does minimal damage, but it does SDC to his arm. Okay, he's been peppered with a shotgun blast. He's hurt. There might be one piece of metal in there. He's in pain. Now, some GMs, and sometimes they'll go over pain rolls, and can you overcome that threshold? Can you work this way? Can you lift that? That kind of thing. I've done that before. Sometimes it gets a little bit, but at least if a character's willing to kind of play that they're hurt, not just, I'm going to suck it up and pull it out. No. If they're willing to, okay, I can't use my arm. I'm having to handle the gun one-handed. That I kind of let go. Hit points is where you start getting into life-threatening injuries. hitting the chest, stomach, head. But it's after you go through the SDC. This is how you make a game fair. Like I said, the hit points, you can take so much damage and then you die. And then you fall. Well, essentially in Rifts, if, God forbid, you took all your SDC all the way down, and you went to your hit points, and you went all the way to your hit points, and you actually went 5 below your hit points, you're dead. If you go to the bottom of your hit points, like the last one, you effectively fall into a coma. You roll versus coma and death. And let's just put it this way, John McClane has a saving throw. If you don't know who John McClane is, I swear to God, watch the Die Hard movies. If you haven't watched those, what do you watch at Christmas? I mean, it's not Christmas at my house until Hans Gruber is tossed off a building. That's our Christmas start. Yeah, my crazy family, we all love each other. But yeah, John McClane keeps recovering from, I swear to God, in that movie, half the time he would probably be like, with all, like, when you're watching the movie, watch movies where guys get beat up a lot, they have an insane ability to recover, but they're always like losing hit points, or like they're actually losing SDC. Like when John McClane is still fighting and he's, you know, he's all beat up, a little bloodied, that's SDC. The instant his hand stops working and it's he's holding the gun, you know, that's what I would call getting into hit points, just for a mental kind of picture in this whole thing. But like I said, this is points. This is a game. This is how they kind of define it. SDC is, I got rough and tumbled and bumped and bruised and yada, yada, yada. Hit points, you're starting to get into damage area. You're starting to get into danger territory. Because like I said, if you hit 0, you fall into a coma unless you save. If you save and don't run like a girl, or run like a... Well, yeah, run... Well, actually, I've seen some girls run pretty well. So, you know, actually, I've known some Marine girls that would kick my butt. I willingly applied for that one when I was that young. Okay, so basically, time to run. Time to get out of there. If you don't, you let a player character die if he does something that's stupid. Anyway, because that's called playing the game, by the way. An actual person actually injured that bad would most likely do everything they possibly could to go survive. Their buddies would do everything they could to get them to survive. You know, they're not, hey man, just, I didn't know. Hit him one more time before you run. No, run. That's called role-playing, by the way. RPG, role-playing game. You are playing a role. Understand that. I understand I got a crazy freaking cat behind me. My arch nemesis. Luckily, my arch nemesis is relatively small and easily drownable. Anyway. Understanding that this is a game and these are points. This is how you define it. You know, these you get hit points. Yeah, it's getting serious. This is stuff that's, I think, harder to recover from. And it's just... Like I said, it emphasizes the point of your character is now taking really bad damage. And by the way, by the time you get to your SDC, then to your hit points, in Rift's Earth, you have already blown through your MDC armor, most likely. MDC's next, but yeah, you've already blown through that. Now you're taking SDC, you blew through that, now you're taking hit points. Move, run, stop. Okay? That's all you said. If you blow through your armor, then blow through your SDC points, then blow through your hit point. By the way, you're getting hit by two different weapons at this point. Time to run. All right, so let's go down here. Recovery here. Recovery is done. Rate of hit points recovery 24 hours. Blah blah blah. 2 hit points and 4 SDC per day. So you recover SDC kind of faster. Hit points is more critical injury, like I said. But, yeah, you know, with treatment, they got different recovery rates and all that. Non-treatment, yeah, out in the woods. Yeah, you know, McClane in the middle of the movie when there's no hospital around. All he's doing is like, yeah, I gotta take this up. Alright, so that being said, here is the MDC. MDC is different from SDC. Because MDC is mega damage capacity. Mega damage capacity is 100. Each 1 point of MDC. That means if I have a shield that has 1 point of MDC, SDC weapons bounce off of it. I don't care what it is. Unless it reaches the 100-point fold, it doesn't do any damage. And they're usually built to very high. The theory behind this is basically SDC would be like a bulletproof vest right now. Pop, 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 pop. Or, well, actually, you might consider a modern day Kevlar vest that can take multiple hits from weapons, an MDC vest. As long as the bullets don't penetrate. Yeah, I'm kind of getting an idea here. Take it loosely. But MDC, if you have an MDC chest piece and somebody fires a 45 1911 at it going pow, 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 empties the mag into you. Unless one of those shots manages to ultra critically succeed, you roll all sixes and it gets 100 points above 100 points of damage. It's not going to work. It's not going to do any damage and it's going to bounce off. However, if it does exceed, like certain SDC weapons, like a Gatling gun, like a minigun, turn that thing on. Yes, it actually goes above, or a 20 millimeter Gatling gun goes above MDC damage. It does more than 100 points of SDC, thus damaging it. SDC materials are like everything now. Like I will never bow to corporate sponsorship. But anyway, like the cup. The cup is SDC. If I hit this with a hammer, it dings. I bend it to break it. If I hit it with my hammers, I'll break it. But, say this cup was an MDC cup. Oh, sponsor's going to be pissed. Oh, wait, I don't have one. But this was an MDC. Say this cup had one MDC. I could hit it with a hammer all day long and it wouldn't dent. That's the theory behind MDC materials. They're supposed to be super space-age, galactic, molecularly bonded materials that are super strong or super flexy or super whatever. Thus, it gives you the ability to withstand much more damage. It's like, well, in the game, it's like your standard suit of Plastic Man body armor has 40 points of MDC. That's an MDC plastic. We're not talking about MDC ceramics, MDC steel, or MDC anything like that. We're talking about an MDC plastic. They call it a Plastic Man because, well, it's really annoying to cover plastic in like the lowest suit armor in the game. But hey, it's great to stick on somebody you don't think you're going to be shooting at that much. NPC, here you go. But here's the thing. You take that 40. Okay, guess what? In SDC points, that is 4,000. 4,000 points of SDC. And like I said, if, say 45 in the game does, I think, 5d6 SDC. That's 5 dice, 6-sided for that. So random roll 3s on 5 times 5 or 5 times 3, 15 points of damage. If you hit a person, that's going to do a lot of damage to them because it's a 45 caliber. If they are wearing 40 MDC, it does nothing. It blanks off, deflects off. They probably felt it hit them, but they didn't. No real damage is done to the armor. That's the point of MDC technology, which is why you need lasers. Like in the game, the Wilkes pistol. I hate Wilkes pistols. Okay, I don't hate Wilkes. I'll get into this later, but Wilkes is kind of the standard Star Trek-ish looking laser pistol. It does 1d6. Very standard pistol, by the way. Just, I switched to a northern gun as fast as I possibly can, but that's just me. Shoots you. It does 1d6 MDC. Understand this. I can be wearing a full suit of knight armor that gives me 120 SDC. That's awesome. One laser pistol is 1d6. Average roll, 3, because that's right in the middle, right? Okay, times that times 100. 300 damage. I just vaporized your suit of armor and you. In one shot, I consumed the armor, your SDC, and your hit points. And you hope to God at that point that you can either roll to survive, or luckily the GM plays the whole thing where, oh yes, he hit you, blew off the armor, and it collapsed you to the ground. You're still alive. Roll for coma. Yeah, because if I hit you in the chest with it, that's a whole other concept, and you're dead. Yes, if I blow a hole like this, or even like this in your chest, actually, you're dead. The only thing that would save you would be if it cauterized as it went through, and let me know, anybody out there who may be doing lasers and stuff. Does a laser I think it does cauterize as it goes through, but I don't think that would last too long. I honestly think if the person twisted, the cauterization would crack and they'd bleed. So I think you'd just bleed through the hole. I mean, I don't think it would do all that well job of cauterizing. Then again, I've seen lasers take off a millimeter of material, and then I've seen them take off a foot of material, or burn through a titanium plate. Now, think about that. That's what we're talking about. Laser vaporizes, burns. You can have kind of fun with whatever it does. Versus plasma, particle guns, all that kind of stuff in the game. They do different kinds of, and you got to think about that if you're kind of like me. I like to understand what type of damage it would do. And I've actually done that thing where, okay, well, you've come across a village and it's under attack, and everything's blown apart. Looks like plasma everywhere because it all smells burnt and there's fire. Lasers cut and pierce holes. Back to the MDC, SDC. Like I said, MDC is 100 points. SDC, but that does mean, if I stacked up enough sheets of SDC steel, I might be able to take a laser blaster too. I'm also probably carrying half a ton of metal plates in front of me, and it's probably pretty unwieldy. That's kind of the cool thing about it is MDC. And now everything in Rifts does MDC damage. So if you're a normal standard human or an SDC being, you buy armor because it protects you. Every bad thing in Rifts does MDC default. Most spells do MDC damage. Most weapons do MDC damage unless otherwise stated. So like I said, just understand that that's the metric we're dealing with here. Hit points is really bad. It's your internal organs. It's your heart rate. SDC is more the bumps and bruises and the rough and tumble and the cuts and the knives, like that kind of thing. And the two different damage scales. There is MDC, which is 100 points, and there's SDC. And no SDC weapon will harm an MDC body armor unless it exceeds 100 points of SDC damage in a single attack. It's not cumulative. It's like I can't sit there with a really dinky 22 caliber machine gun and just I can empty the mag at the guy in the plastic man body armor. Never going to affect him. He's not using like ha 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 and shoot you. So like I said, that's my rift on the whole damage thing. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Let me know if you do it differently. If there's anything I missed, just let me know. And just remember, I'm your friendly neighborhood techno wizard. Like, share, subscribe. Let's see if we can grow the channel a little. And I do know Chad the man.